All right, Atlantis, we are ready for the event. How about you?
Atlantis is ready for the event.
Okay, ABC News, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Atlantis for a voice check.
Atlantis, this is ABC News. Do you hear me?
Atlantis has you loud and clear.
That's terrific. Are you, and so away we go, Atlantis. I want to ask really all four of you your feelings on this being the final flight of the 30-year shuttle history.
Well, I'll start off. First, let me say it's been an absolute honor to be a part of this final crew. This was a tough decision there are a number of extraordinarily qualified people to do it. We took on the task. Of course, we were just a crew of four, and I'd like to think that we went up there and did a bang-up job with the limited number of resources that we had. And of course, as we just approach landing here, we're going through a series of laughs. Yesterday, for example, the shuttle's robotic arm that we had used for 30 years to deploy and retrieve satellites, and we had some fantastic statistics read up to us. So last time we put it away. It's hard to believe we'll ever use it again. But I'm going to pass the mic around a little bit. I'm sure somebody else has something I'd like to share.
Sure, and it's been an interesting training flow because, as our commander said, there are a number of laughs, and they started out small, the last specific sim on a certain system, and then they got bigger and bigger until we saw the last rollout of the space shuttle to the pad. And it started getting real, and every once in a while it kind of hits you. And the same thing's happened during the mission. We've gone through a number of different milestones, and as you get the bigger ones and bigger ones behind you, then you kind of have a chance to pause a little bit more as the pressure is off, and you can think, wow, this is the last time we're doing that. And for me, it kind of hits me when I'm sitting down the mid-deck sometimes at the end of the day where we eat, and you finally have a chance just for a couple of minutes to grab a bite to eat and think. And I think of the past crews that have sat down here and shared a meal and think about, wow, this is the last time. And then also think about the future of Atlantis. We're not going to just retire. We're going to share with others in the Kennedy Space Center, so other people will be able to get a chance to get up close and see what a beautiful vehicle it is.
I'd like to ask you, Mission Specialist Sandy Magnus, do you expect to go into space again?
Oh, gosh, that's really a hard question. I have a feeling probably not, but I have yet to talk with our chief about that. Just like on my last mission, I treated this mission as if it was going to be my last mission and tried to savor every moment I was on the space station and every moment we're here on Atlantis and get those last glances out the window at our beautiful Earth and try and imprint those on my memory as well.
Pilot Doug Hurley, I realize she's a very delicate craft. She is incredibly intricate to a degree that many of us can't comprehend. But ultimately, what's it like to fly her?
Well, it's just it's a dream come true, actually. It flies much better than our simulators show that she should fly, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to get to fly yesterday for me, to get to do the fly around, and then some of the rendezvous burns that we did, and we're really looking forward to bringing her home tomorrow. But it's been just a dream to get to do this.
Doug, what's it going to be like to land the space shuttle for the very last time?
Yeah, Doug passed it off to me because, the pilot is the pilot that left Cedar Lands, and Doug would do an absolute fantastic job at answering that question. But I've had one opportunity to land before. It was extraordinarily exciting, but probably the one word I could say is it works just like the simulator. We have an in-flight simulator that we use and practice with, and I'm absolutely astounded at how closely the space shuttle replicates the in-flight simulator. So we're going to have, I believe, a pre-dawn landing tomorrow. If we land on time, day or night, we're ready to come home anytime.
Chris Ferguson, commander of the final mission of the 30-year space shuttle history, I want to ask you, what do you see as the future of the American space program?
Well, we were discussing this just the other day. You know, it may seem like a sort of an ending, and I suppose to a degree it is. You know, the space shuttle's been with us. It's been the heart and the soul of the human spaceflight program for about 30 years, and, you know, it's a little sad to see it go away. But, you know, we have to understand these systems to operate and maintain are extraordinarily costly, and in order to go beyond, because, of course, the shuttle can only stay in low Earth orbit. In order to go beyond low Earth orbit again, we're going to have to pause, and we're going to have to stand down, and we're going to have to channel some of those resources that we use to fund and operate the space shuttle so we can build another vehicle. And we're going to go beyond again someday. Hopefully it's in the not too far distant future. And we'll turn over this low Earth orbit business, this space station servicing business to commercial companies. But hopefully in the not too distant future, you're going to see a heavy lift vehicle manufactured and by our commercial partners, designed by NASA in partnership. And we're going to go back to the moon, back to Mars. So the future is very bright. But at the moment, it's a little somber because we are saying goodbye to an old friend.
Well, Colonel Rex Walheim, Mission Specialist, Sandy Magnus, Mission Specialist, Colonel Douglas Hurley of the Marines, the pilot, and to you, Christopher Ferguson, Captain of the Navy and Mission Commander, I know that we here at Good Morning America join with all of us watching at home in wishing you and Atlantis a very safe return.
Atlantis ISS. This is Houston ACR. That concludes the ABC News portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from CBS News.
Okay, Chris. Atlantis, this is CBS News. How do you hear me?
We have you loud and clear, CBS.
Fantastic, fantastic. We should be ready to go in just 1 second. Was that? Okay. 3, 2, and.
Hold on. And 3, 2.
First, the shuttle Atlantis left the International Space Station for the last time Tuesday and is now heading home as the 30-year-long U.S. shuttle program comes to a bittersweet end. Atlantis is scheduled to land in Florida tomorrow morning just before 6 Eastern Time. And joining us from space this morning is the crew of Atlantis, Commander Chris Ferguson, pilot Doug Hurley, and Mission Specialist Sandy Magnus and Rex Walheim. Good morning to all of you. This is a real treat for all of us here at CBS News this morning.
Hey, good morning to you, CBS. It's always a treat for us to be able to share just a little piece of the excitement of spaceflight with you.
Commander Ferguson, let me ask you this first question. This is a historic final journey home. How has this mission been? How bittersweet is it to know that you're coming home on the shuttle for the very final time?
Well, I'll tell you, we have had just an event-filled and packed mission, and you know what I had kind of told everybody all along was that we were not going to fully appreciate the significance of the event until after the wheels had stopped. And just yesterday in the mid-deck, I was talking to Sandy about the fact that, yeah, you know what, I really do feel like it's coming near the end, and I can almost sense that final wheel stop call. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be an emotional moment for a lot of people who have dedicated their lives to the shuttle program for 30 years. But we're going to try to keep it upbeat. We're going to try to keep it light. We're going to try to make it a celebration of of the tremendous crowning achievements that have occurred over the last 30 years with the tremendous satellites that have been deployed from the shuttle and, of course, the construction of the International Space Station.
Was the mission successful?
Well, no mission is successful until you're finally on the ground. I would have to say that up to this point, it's been highly successful. Sandy, Rex, Doug, every one of them, we all put forth 110%. We got about 20,000 pounds of cargo transferred into and back out of the space station again. We have them all set. They're in a good posture to wait for about a year until our commercial partners come on board and begin the resupply mission that the shuttle has formerly had.
Exactly the future of the space program right now. I know everyone knows that the shuttle program is coming to an end after 30 years. There is no vehicle that is ready to go right now. Where is the future of the space program for the United States at this point?
Well, the future is bright. We're in a kind of a transition period, which is a little bit uncomfortable as usual, but what we're going to be doing is handing over the access to low Earth orbit, getting to the space station, to and from, to commercial providers who are going to build rockets that will get us to and from the space station. That'll free up NASA to do the heavy lifting of the beyond low Earth orbit flights, to go to places we haven't been for a long time or ever, like the moon, an asteroid, or maybe Mars. So it's a kind of a two-pronged effort, and while we get to this transition part, it'll be hard, but we'll get there, and we'll be going farther and farther and going to new places real soon.
How's it been to just have 4 of you there? I know normally the missions usually have more astronauts on board, but it's just been 4 of you. Have you had a chance to really bond up there during this historic final journey?
Oh, I think definitely, we've had to just work so closely together and be so well coordinated because, your typical shuttle mission, there's 6 or 7 folks, so you tend to be working more with another person, and there's been a lot of times where we've just had to depend on the other person to cover a separate task. I personally I don't think I fully appreciated how much more work we would have to do with only 4 by 6 or 7. So it's been a little bit of an eye-opener because we really have been just stretching it, working very hard every day.
Sandy, if I could just pose this last question to you, what's your message to all those people, the thousands of people over the years that have been such an instrumental part of the shuttle program as you now say goodbye to this program after 30 years?
Well, really the heart and soul of the space program is the people that work in the space program. It's a group of people unlike any other field, I guess, because everyone's so passionate and so dedicated. They work so hard, they take it to heart. And it's true of all the people that I've met in the United States who work in various aspects of the space program. It's also true of the people who I've met in other countries through my work with the International Space Station. I mean, there is a huge number of people worldwide who passionately believe in spaceflight and who dedicate their lives to it. And it's because of these people that the shuttle program was so successful for the last 30 years, and we were able to do the amazing things that we were able to do. And it's because of these people that the International Space Station has been so successful and will continue to be successful. And this same group of people will carry forward their momentum and eventually get us out of low Earth orbit to these other destinations that Rex was talking about earlier.
And before we say goodbye, Sandy, just one final question to you. Has anyone been giving you a hard time, the crew, maybe through emails or any messages from Mission Control about your space hair, what zero gravity has done to your hair?
Well, usually for events like this, I like to leave it out because it illustrates that we are indeed in zero gravity. I mean, these guys have kind of boring hair, so it's not so fun. But they do give me trouble occasionally about the Medusa-like effect of it.
Well, it's an interesting look, that's for sure. Hey, we wish you all the very, very best, and we thank you so much for taking the time and talking with us. This has been a treat for all of us here, and we're so proud of you, and we wish you a safe return to planet Earth. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Atlantis, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the CBS News portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from CNN.
Pop up.